Namaste. I bow to you. The wisdom in me recognizes the wisdom in you and all the other parts. Let's arrive in a comfortable seat, sitting tall. If it feels comfortable, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart. And right away, we will drop in with a full breath and an exhale, chanting Om, sighing, or just listening to the vibration I create. Release your hands to your legs. Pause here for a few breaths, allowing yourself to arrive. Our quote today comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes. In the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die, and the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. As we stay for a few more breaths, allowing ourselves to connect to the present moment, you might practice Jnana or Chin Mudra by drawing your thumb and index finger, the tips together. If the palms are up, it's called Jnana Mudra, palms down, Chin Mudra. In the Chinese five-element theory, the index finger and thumb both represent the element of metal, which is an excellent conductor of energy. And for this mudra, the thumb represents source. Some people might call that God, nature, cosmic energy. Thumb. The index finger represents the human consciousness. And so by connecting them, this is really what the practice of yoga is, the idea of uniting human consciousness with the cosmic reality of the world, source, God, whatever idea works for you. And then the three fingers that remain long represent the gunas, or the energy that keeps the world moving. So lethargy and balance, harmony, and action. So pausing in this mudra, breathing deeply. Uniting with the present moment. Now, with our hands on our knees, we'll move through the daily breathing practices. These were given to me when I was studying massage therapy at the Healing Arts Center in St. Louis. So hands to kneecaps. Inhale, draw your heart forward. This is familiar. And exhale, draw your heart back. We'll do 10 breaths each direction. As we breathe and draw these large circles, you can imagine breathing into the lowest part of your abdomen. And when it feels right, pause in center, switch the cross of your legs and switch the directions of these big circles. Inhaling forwards, exhaling back about 10 times. And return to neutral. Hands move to your shins and we'll flex our spine. So inhale, draw your heart forwards. Exhale, draw it back, similar to cow and cat. About 10 times. You can lift and tuck the chin as you breathe, or keep the head neutral. Keep a little space between the back teeth, relaxing the jaw. Another few breaths. And return to neutral spine. Fingertips to your shoulder. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, twist right. About 5 times. And as you come back through center, interlace your hands. Basket behind your head. Inhale left. Exhale right. Now we're thinking of drawing the breath all the way up to the toppest part of our chest. Breathing into the collarbones. And return to neutral. Now we'll take chest openers. So come to stand. With a relatively wide foundation, wide stance, soft bend in your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, swinging the arms back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, like you're throwing off any energy that doesn't work for you. Release it. If your balance allows, you might explore coming to your tippy toes on the inhale. Exhale, dropping the heels. Maybe it's a better idea to keep the feet firmly grounded. Maybe your motion isn't going to be as exaggerated as mine is. You can still have good benefits. Inhaling, opening the chest. Exhaling, folding forward any amount and shooing that energy out. Another breath or two. And when you're ready, find your way to mountain pose, standing tall, just noticing what's here. Anytime we practice that mindfulness of noticing what's here, we might get a flicker of the experience of the present moment in its purity, true experience of it all. And then the mind probably interrupts. Make your way back down to your seat. If you have a folded blanket, we can go ahead and sit on it as we do some forward folding exercises. If you know that you like to have your blocks handy, you can bring them into the picture and bring the strap with you. Begin by sending both legs long. Yesterday, we did a lot of work with the feet, so check in with them, spread your toes wide and pull them back towards you. Energy shooting through the heels of your feet. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Hands pressing into the earth or blanket at your side. Navel drawing back towards your spine and up towards your heart. Again, imagine all of your best friends tugging an energetic cord at the top of your head so that the crown floats up and all of the muscles and bones, everything else just melts down. Dandasana, staff pose, lots of energy here. Just like mountain pose, it might look suspiciously easy, but we know if we're experiencing it, there's a lot going on here. Another breath. Keeping everything as engaged as it is, Bend your left knee and press the left foot into the right leg. You might use your hands to help you get there. If you're on a blanket, make sure that you're shifted to just the very edge of it. Re-energize your right leg. You might loop the strap under your right foot if you like. Left foot pressing into right thigh, right thigh pressing back, just like in tree pose. On an inhale, reach your arms up. Core muscles are engaged. On an exhale, fold forward. Keep your arms by your ears as long as you like, adding just a little bit more effort to the upper body. And when you're ready, release your arms down, grabbing the foot, strap, leg, blocks, whatever works for you, as we stay for about 5 breaths. Get what you need out of this shape. Noticing what's here. If you find that you're using a lot of effort to keep the right leg straight, let some of that go. Let the right knee bend. You can still keep the leg engaged without forcing the hamstrings straight. And on your next inhale, you might explore lengthening your spine. Maybe as you exhale, you find that you lower, maybe not. Releasing the strap. Inhale, reach forwards and up. Core muscles engaged. See if you can send your left leg long and switch. So now the right leg is bent, right foot pressing into left thigh. You can always release your arms and give yourself an assist. We are our best friends. Set yourself up for success, block, strap, etc. Reach back to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward. The right foot is pressing into the left leg. It's pressing back. So we have a lot of energy in the lower body, which supports us as we keep our heavy arms up overhead for another breath. When you like, you can lower your arms, letting them land where they do. Leg, foot, strap. Exploring lengthening the spine with every inhale. Perhaps softening into the fold with every exhale, and breathe. Checking in, being sure that you're kind to your left hamstring muscles. Releasing the strap, reach your arms forward. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, release your arms. Set the strap out of the way. On the blanket, or perhaps scooting off of it for figure 4. Hands come back behind us. We can cross the right ankle over the left thigh and then sit tall and make any adjustments that you need to. If you find this position uncomfortable, you might lower back to your forearms or even roll onto your spine for a few breaths. If you lower onto your elbows and forearms, check in. Are your shoulders like earrings? If so, push them away, root into the earth, keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Maybe bring your left foot in closer. Maybe you're sitting up tall. Maybe you sway your legs side to side. Remember, this is your time. You're welcome to explore. Keeping the right ankle on the left thigh from a seated position, slide your left leg long, sit up tall. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward any amount. You might bring the strap back into the picture, or you might just let your hands rest where they land. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, explore. So this is applying a lot of pressure to the top of your quadricep. You could think of this as a little deep tissue self-massage. One more breath. And release. Send your right foot to the ground. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Sitting tall or releasing to your elbows and forearms. Adjusting perhaps your right foot closer or farther from your hips. You might sway your legs or find stillness. Breathe and give yourself what you need. Is there anywhere that you're holding or bringing tension in that you might let go? From a seated position, send your right leg long, left leg or ankle stays on the right thigh. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, take a fold forward. Lower your arms and settle in for just a couple of breaths. See if you can relax your right quadricep. It might be feeling jumpy with the pressure of the left leg on it. Of course, modifying is needed. And then releasing the forward fold, take the left leg off of the right and make your way into tabletop. Remember, you can always use the blanket to pad under your knees if that works well for you. And then in general, I like to keep blocks at the top of the mat. Hands under shoulders. Notice how your hands land on the earth. I imagine it like a heat map and what is all lit up red right now. If it's the heel of your hands, let's try to distribute that energy and weight by gripping into the fingertips. The fingers are spread really wide. I bring the thumbs in about halfway. Grip with fingertips, grip with the root of your knuckles. Externally rotate your arms a bit in the shoulder sockets so the eye of the elbow points towards the space between the index finger and thumb. The point of the elbow points more back towards your thighs. Inhale, drop your belly, draw your heart forward, cow. Exhale, push the ground away, shoulder blades slide apart, navel towards spine, cat. Pause here and maybe shake your head out, nod your head. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. Exhale. Tuck your toes as we continue moving through cow and cat another time or two. And on your exhale, when it feels right, send your hips high, exploring downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So I've moved my folded blanket to the back of the mat, and here it works as a prop under the heels. So for a lot of us, because of our beloved hamstrings, our heels might not meet the ground in downward facing dog, which is totally fine. The purpose of this posture is really to lengthen the spine. It's not really about straightening the legs or getting the heels to the ground, but sometimes we feel more grounded when our feet are level on the earth or connected to the earth. So the blanket could serve that purpose. On an inhale, look forward between your hands, which are gripping with the fingertips. On an exhale, step yourself to the top of the mat. However you like to get there, fold forward. You might heel toe your feet out just a little bit wider, keeping the heel centered with the second and third toes. And you might clasp opposite elbows, letting the head hang heavy between the arms. Option to keep this clasp of the elbows or even sliding your hands down so you're holding your wrists more. On an inhale, rise up with a long spine, maybe keeping your arms in alignment with your ears. Big heart opener here. And exhale, fold back down. If you kept your hands or arms clasped, release one hand and switch the grip. So now we're in our non-dominant habit. And inhale, rise up, long spine, arms stay by ears. Exhale, fold back down, leading with your heart, just exploring different varieties of ways to move within these familiar shapes. Go ahead and release your arms. Feet are hips distance apart again. Sometimes you can measure that. It's loosely 2 knuckles width or 2 fists width between your feet. On your inhale, rise all the way up, reach to the sky. Exhale, arms float down by your sides. Pause in mountain pose. Check in with what you can feel on the soles of your feet. Maybe nothing, maybe something. What's here? If you can, notice your kneecaps lifting as we engage our quadriceps, and then imagine these front hip points lifting up towards your heart. As you lift the front hip points, you might notice that you lengthen your low back. Heart lifts, shoulders can roll up to the ears, back and down again. Crown of the head still floating to the sky. Inhale, reach to the sky. Maybe you find a back bend, pressing your hips forward. Exhale, slow swan dive, long spine. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart and down by your sides. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down to rise up, reach up. Exhale, pause with the hands at your heart. On an inhale, reach. On an exhale, slow swan dive. Hands touch down, maybe grabbing your blocks. Step your right foot way back in space. Pause in our high runner's lunge, imagining the right heel pressing up against a wall. Imagine pressing the inner right heel behind you, noticing how that might shift the ankle. Left knee over left ankle. One more big breath. Exhale, lower your right knee, untuck the toes. You might explore here sinking your hips a little lower. So I'm generally cueing that we squeeze our legs together, keeping the hips more neutral. Maybe just to explore our bodies today, we let the hips sink really low. Maybe you bring your blocks back alongside your hips. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead. Maybe you even explore back bend here, working with what you've got. You can open your arms out wide if that helps you, perhaps. Wherever your expression is taking you, 3 more breaths. Remember, you can always back out of it and return to what feels most appropriate for you. And as you come to an exhale, we'll all plant our hands on either side of the left foot, tuck the right toes, inhale. Exhale, step yourself to plank by whatever means. Push the ground away in plank. Press back through your heels and the soles of your feet. So much like mountain pose, we're just supporting ourselves here with our arms, which we can notice are externally rotated, the eyes of the elbows pointing towards the space between the index finger and thumb. One more breath. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your torso all the way down. Point your toes back, roll your shoulders back and together, lengthen your low back, feel the front of the pelvic bowl press into the earth, and on an inhale, lift your heart any amount. For baby cobra, we can float the hands off of the mat, really having the upper back work for us and support us. You can also press your hands into the earth, draw your heart forwards and up. Bhujangasana, the arms are hugging the side body here. Elbows are not pointed out. Shoulders are down away from the ears. One more breath like this. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, push yourself up through tabletop, and then back to child's pose just for a moment with the toes tucked here, reminiscent of our deep toe stretches yesterday, perhaps. Hopefully not causing any PTSD. Another breath or two. If you liked those toe stretches, you can join me in walking your hands back towards your thighs, taking just a moment of perching yourself on your heels. Thank you, toes. And from wherever you've gone, we will rise up through tabletop with the toes tucked. Inhale and exhale to downward facing dog. A breath or two like this. On an inhale, look forwards, and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Maybe you walk, hop, skip, crawl. Inhale, rise all the way up with a long spine. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale to reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Hands touch down, left foot steps way back in space. You can bring your blocks into the picture. Pausing in high runner's lunge, lots of energy and integrity to your back leg. The right knee is over the right ankle. I love that we can check so many of our alignment cues on our own, just a matter of remembering. It's just another way to help focus the mind on the present moment. What is the body doing? As you're ready, you can lower your left knee. You can keep the toes tucked if you like, or untuck. You can stay exactly as you are, or you can explore sinking your hips a little lower, perhaps. Hands can stay supported on the blocks, or you can explore reaching to the sky. Maybe you find a back bend. Maybe you open your arms out like the goddess pose. And maybe you've explored these great depths and decided, not today. A few more breaths, doing whatever works for you. It's a great way to practice respecting yourself. As you're ready, we'll all return our hands to the earth, framing the right foot, tuck the left toes, inhale. Exhale, step yourself back to plank. Remember, you can always lower your knees. Push the ground away here. Take a little body scan. Notice the soles of your feet. Notice your lower legs. Keep breathing. Notice your upper legs, your hips. Core muscles are engaged here. You're strong. Your arms are engaged, pushing the ground away. Neck is long. Crown of your head draws away from your heels. On your exhale, lower your knees, bend your elbows, lower the torso all the way. Point your toes back, and on an inhale, find the back bend of your choice. Baby cobra, full bhujangasana. Maybe you move your hands back in space a bit and push the ground away, lifting perhaps your hips, upper legs, knees off of the ground for upward facing dog. One more breath. And on your exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, big breath in. Exhale, push yourself up through tabletop. Slowly send your hips back, pausing through child's pose or walking your hands back towards your thighs to sit on your heels. One more breath wherever you went. As you're ready, we'll all meet in tabletop with toes tucked And on your exhale, send your hips high, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, our triangle shape. Keeping in mind, bent knees are totally acceptable here. I might even say bent knees are an advanced practice because it means that we have surpassed the ego that tells us the legs have to be straight. On an inhale, look forward between your hands, and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. If you'd like, go ahead and put a block between your ankles here. Bend your knees really generously. Fingertips graze the earth perhaps. And as you inhale, start to reach forwards and up, finding our low Utkatasana awkward chair pose. Really engage your gluteal muscles here. This huge, strong muscle group is supporting you. Engage your abdominal muscles, navel drawing back towards spine, up towards heart. Maybe you open your arms out a little bit wider so your shoulders aren't feeling too scrunched. Keep squeezing the block with your ankles. One more breath. Exhale, stand up into mountain pose. May take a little shimmy. Official yoga cue. And then find stillness, just noticing what's here. Did something change for your heart rate, perhaps? Or did your breathing pattern change? On an inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, sit back into your awkward chair. Fire up the gluteal muscles, lengthen your low back, lift your heart, breathe deeply. On your exhale, fold forward, draping the belly and ribs over your thighs. Release the block if you used it. On an inhale, rise up, return to chair pose. Remember, life is what you make it, so you can stay here, alternating between chair and mountain pose, or carry the weight into your right leg, lift your left heel off of the ground so the toes are still on the earth. You might stay like this, maybe you lift the left toes off of the earth. After a breath or two to explore, settle the left foot on the ground and then transition to the other side, slowly peeling your right heel off of the ground and maybe lifting the right toes. So much focus in this moment. That's what it's all about. Set your right foot down, fold forward, let it go. As you're ready, bend your knees, send your hips low, reach your arms up. Chair pose. Exhale, mountain pose. Lower body is energized and we know that it supports us now. So from mountain pose, carry the weight into your right leg. The left foot might float off of the earth. Maybe you do what we just did, where you just peel the heel off of the earth, keeping the toes on the ground. Wherever you've gone, notice what's happening with your core. Let it support you. Your arms might be down by your side. Maybe you're able to start lifting your left leg any amount more. Perhaps you can clasp your hands under your left thigh. If that's a no-go, but you want to explore this balance, you could loop the strap under your left thigh, giving yourself a little bit more length. You could also loop it under your foot, so you have the option to explore sending the leg long with that support. So gathering and using your tools as you see fit. A few more breaths. That right leg is working for us. Also keep in mind, you can always return to what seems reasonable for you in this moment. Perhaps that means the left toes kiss the ground. Wherever you've gone, can you lengthen the crown of your head up towards the sky? Anchor the base of your spine towards the earth. One more breath. Exhale, slowly set the left foot down. You might draw some circles with your right ankle. Thank you, right ankle. Returning to mountain pose. The mind knows where we're going next, so see if you can stay really present as you slowly shift the weight into your left leg. You might feel the left gluteal muscles firing up as you start to peel the right heel off of the ground. The toes might stay there on the ground. Maybe today your balance allows you to lift the right leg any amount more. Maybe you interlace your hands under the right leg. Maybe you're using a strap. Maybe you're sending your right leg long. These are all variations of Asta Padangunstasana, hand to foot pose. So traditionally it would be along these lines, which we may go for or we may not. Either way is okay. We're breathing. We are right here, right now. From wherever you've gone, breathe as you slowly return your right foot to the earth. Give your left ankle a couple circles of love, perhaps. Returning to mountain pose. We'll explore that again. If you need to move to a wall or a piece of furniture, keep in mind that's also always an option. Find your firm mountain pose. Move as slowly as you can. We'll let this be a mindfulness practice in and of itself. So slowly, keeping the left foot on the ground, shift the weight to your right foot, right leg. And slowly peel the left foot off of the ground any amount. Breathing, lengthening the spine as we anchor down through the right foot, leg, base of the spine. Perhaps your left thigh is coming towards parallel to the earth. Perhaps you send the left leg long. You can keep your arms anywhere they might be. Maybe you reach them up overhead. If this is available to you, you could use your peace fingers to loop around your left big toe, right hand to hip, and send your left leg long. Keep in mind the full expression of these shapes are never really what it's about. Breathe deeply. With extreme focus and awareness, slowly, slowly return your body to Tadasana, mountain pose. Pause. Notice if there's a surge of energy or movement, internal movement. And then you might roll the right ankle a bit, a couple circles. One more time on the other side, mountain pose. Noticing your breath. Noticing all of the subtleties of the experience of shifting the weight to the left leg. Feeling the texture under the right foot change as we peel the right foot off of the ground any amount. Moving like you're moving through marmalade. Slowly lifting the right leg any amount. Breathing as you explore your variation, your custom created variation of this ancient practice. Complete focus. Full breath. One more cycle of breath. And as slowly as you can, return your body to mountain pose. As you arrive there, notice how you feel. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up. Big full body stretch. Maybe you float your heels off of the ground. Exhale, everything folds forward. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Shift the weight to your right leg again. Left heel lifts off of the earth and slide the left leg to meet the right. Open the left leg, transitioning into tree pose. You might keep your left toes on the earth here. As you lengthen your low back, there is a tendency to sway into the low back here. So keep lengthening the low back, lifting the front hip points. Depending on how steady you're feeling today, perhaps you start to slide the left foot up the right leg. Maybe you use your hands to help position your left foot above the right knee. The only steadfast rule here is that we don't press the foot into the right knee. Wherever you're going, let yourself arrive and breathe deeply. Hands together in Anjali Mudra might be helping you press into the central line of energy, the Sushumna, or perhaps your tree feels more steady with branches growing up overhead where they can help you balance as you wave in the winds of your breath. Notice how it's going. Notice if you're accepting of how it is, or if you're experiencing frustration or pride. And then slowly we'll let it all go, returning to mountain pose. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lift halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching. And exhale your hands to your heart where they press together, helping you engage with the central line of energy. And shift your weight to the left foot, bringing your right heel towards your arch, and then finding your way into your variation of Vrikshasana, tree pose. Keep in mind the right toes can stay on the earth. The right foot might slide up the left leg any amount. Just like when we started in Janu Shirshasana, it's essentially the seated version of tree pose. The foot of the bent leg is pressing into the straight leg is pressing back. And that's all pressing into that central line of energy. Maybe you assist yourself in lifting the right foot higher up on the left thigh. Maybe you've assisted yourself by moving to a wall or a piece of furniture, or by simply not going too far with it. A few more breaths of complete focus and awareness of the present moment. As we stay, notice your left toes. Do they have a grip on the earth? And if so, can we lift them joyously? And slowly start to release. Return yourself to mountain pose. Hands to hips. Let's turn to face the wide edge of your mat, bringing your feet out wide stance. Pivot on your right heel so your right toes point forward. You might be able to pivot your left toes towards the top left corner of your mat. Lengthen your low back, lift your heart, reach your fingertips away from each other. From here, we can bend into the right leg. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Can you feel the connection of the pinky side edge of your left foot? Inhale, straighten your right leg. Keep the lower body exactly as it is. Lean the upper body forward, right fingertips reaching to the distance in front of you. And then slowly lower the right hand to the right leg, or perhaps grab a block to rest the fingertips on. Left fingertips are reaching towards the sky, or perhaps you like to bring your left arm alongside your ear. Keep the connection to the pinky side edge of your left foot. Notice which direction your heart is shining. Try to keep it tilted towards the sky, or maybe the seam of the wall and ceiling meeting. Trikonasana, triangle pose. One more breath. And then bend into your right knee. You might look down for steadiness. Return to Virabhadrasana 2. Big breath in, hands to hips. Exhale, straighten your right leg, pivot on the right heel. If you like using the block, carry it over to the other side so it'll be behind your left foot now. Pivot on your left heel. Heel to arch alignment between the feet. Bend into your left knee. Fingertips reach away from each other, gaze over the left fingertips. Warrior 2, feel your feet. The right toes might be slightly pointed towards the bottom right corner of your mat. Connect to the pinky side edge of the right foot. Open heart, full breath. Straighten your left leg. Lengthen your low spine. Keep the lower body totally as it is as you hinge forward. Left fingertips reaching to the distance, and then eventually cartwheel the arms. The left hand perhaps resting on the left leg or using your tools. Right fingertips reaching to the sky. Or sometimes as I anchor into the pinky side edge of the right foot, I like to reach the right arm alongside my ear, and then I feel a nice stretch all the way through the right side body, right hip flexors. And again, notice if your heart had a beacon of light that you could see coming out of it, where would it be pointed? And can we rotate it, shift it so it's pointed a bit more towards the sky? One more big breath. And perhaps you look down for stability as you bend into your left knee. Inhale, return yourself to Warrior 2. Hands to hips, straighten your left leg, pivot on your heel, and then we'll do little do-si-do, heel toe your feet together. Find yourself back to mountain pose. Release your arms by your side, and just for a moment, breathe here. You might close your eyes. And notice, even in stillness, how the body seems to dance with the movement of the breath. Opening your eyes, if you close them, we'll make our way to our seat. Grabbing any props that you might like to use when you take your Shavasana. And then we will make our way onto our spine. As you arrive, hug your right leg in towards your chest. You can keep the left leg bent or send it long. With the left hand on top of the right leg, open your right arm out wide. Big breath in. Exhale, take a twist, having the right leg fall over to the left. If your right shoulder lifts off of the ground, you don't have to force it down. Maybe you press the back of your head into the earth to pick up and resettle your shoulders onto the ground. Maybe you put a blanket under your right shoulder or block under your right leg so you don't have to go so far. Or maybe you just hang out. and breathe. You can look up overhead or over your right shoulder, checking in that the jaw is soft and relaxed. The breath is as full as it can be in this contortion. Slowly unwind. Bend your left knee and hug it in towards your chest. You might send your right leg long. A breath or two here. Right hand to the top of the left knee. Open your left arm out wide. Inhale. Exhale, take a twist. Allow yourself to settle in however you like. A couple more breaths. As you're ready, return to neutral. You might hug both knees in towards your chest. Maybe there you rock side to side. And let the head roll back and forth. You might take happy baby. I generally reach towards the outer edges of my legs, grabbing maybe behind the thighs or onto the calves, ankles. Maybe you can reach the pinky side edges of your feet. I know some folks also like to use their peace fingers and hug on to the big toes. If your elbows are on the inside of your legs here, you can use them to kind of guide the legs out wide or the knees wide. Maybe you sway side to side. Couple more breaths, giving yourself what you need. What a beautiful gift that is, to be able to give yourself what you need. As you're ready, find your way into Shavasana, sending your legs long. If you liked the Supta Baddha Konasana that we did yesterday, you might do that, bringing the soles of your feet together. Maybe you bring your folded blanket right underneath your seat so your thighs can rest on that. Your hands might rest on your body, helping you stay connected to your breath. Or maybe you open your arms out wide, palms towards the sky. As you arrive, you might invite in the commitment of stillness for the next few breaths, few moments. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes. In the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die. And the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. Noticing if the chatter of the mind has distracted you, knowing that's the practice. Return again. Noticing how the whole body can let go here. You have done the physical effort of the asana practice, and now your body is completely supported. There's no work to do here, just the work of letting go. Deepen your breath and invite movement into your body. As you're ready, you can make your way to an easy seated posture. And as you arrive, if you'd like, I invite you to return to Dhyana or Chin Mudra, index finger and thumb together. And keeping the gaze soft and unfocused, or perhaps closing your eyes. And notice what your awareness prefers to rest on. Maybe it's the sensation of the fingertips meeting, or what textures or temperatures your hands can feel. Maybe following the breath works best for you. Or maybe it's noticing the sounds of your environment. Knowing that these anchors always exist for us to tap into. And any senses of peace that we may have cultivated throughout this practice, peace or strength or acceptance of the present moment, anything you might have gained from this last hour. I hope that we can carry it through the rest of the day and into the week ahead of us. If you'd like to chant Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart, sitting tall. Inhale for one long Om. The teacher in me bows to the teacher in you. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice. I think Toby must have taken the weekend off, so hopefully he comes back and sees us tomorrow. I hope you all have a good day.